Hello everyone, my name is Comet, and in this video I want to talk about the top lane meta for the new patch 13.23, as well as my champion pool for the Road to Diamond series in the top lane. And the reason why I want to make this video, as well as the others for champion pool, is because the meta shifted quite hard this patch, especially in the top lane. Now you see so many split pushers and so many lane dominant characters. Mostly this character right here, which is extremely broken, Yone. Like, man, this I have issues beating this character even with Jace. With Jace, and the reason is because Yone can chase you down for 3 screens away from where you are, and it's just insane. It's gonna queue into you, ultimate like 2 screens, and then flash, and then he's so fast that he can keep up with you. He is insane. And with once he gets Hull Breaker, you will have to bring 2 people to beat him down, unless you have Jax or Fiora or something like that, because he just has too much damage, and he is very tanky with the shields and with the extra stats that he gets from Hull Breaker. So rant aside, I feel like characters like this that can dominate in the early game, or that can split push very hard, are perfect for the top lane meta. And this is something that was a bit different in the previous patch, because in the previous patch was more about early game. I feel you tend to see a lot of people in Challenger go Jace and Rumble more often than not. But this patch, every single match is either Ilaoi or Yone or or Jax. These are the stuff that you see all the time. And when those are banned or picked by the opponent, you tend to see. In fact, Nasus, I think, has come into play, and he's very, very, very good at the moment, in the lower levels, especially if you have a good matchup. I think that Nasus is legitimately good in this patch, and I have seen quite a lot of it now that I have been playing in Diamond, um, Emerald or Platinum. Around these Elos, I see him more than in the lower levels, which is interesting because he's quite easy to play. Um, but the lower levels don't pick him up. But yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of Nasus, Jax. But in general, the meta really revolves around Illaoi, Yone, and Jax at the moment for these levels. Anything below Diamond is around these. And in the higher levels, I have seen people go for K'Sante, Steel K'Sante, Jax, and Illaoi. Yes, Illaoi, even Korean challengers. I have been going through the top 50 challenger top laners, and there's a lot of Illaoi players. Even the pro players are playing her at the moment because she can stomp lane quite hard, as well as Yone. Yone, of course, being probably the best top laner of the patch, by quite a big mile. But because of this, I also need to make a champion pool, or I needed to make a champion pool that could match the meta, not only in the top lane but also in the other lanes. In the mid lane there's a lot of wave clear characters, or Sylas and Akali, and in the bot lane there's a lot of early game characters or lane bullies. Like Draven, Jean, Caitlyn, and stuff like that. And a character that I think is undeniably good in this patch, that I will be picking up myself because of the matchups that he can deal with. Um, like he has so many matchups that he can deal with, that is very important to pick him up, and especially with the um, other side of the map focusing so much on skirmishes. I need to take advantage of that, and with Jax, he can take advantage of this meta, because what better split push in the later stages than Jax? And people really like to go for those later stages, and I feel like this is a character that is a must have at the moment for every single top laner, no matter if you are iron, bronze, or if you are challenger or diamond or anything. There's a reason why the top 50 players in Korean challenger are going for Jax as soon, if possible, because he's very powerful in the right scenarios. Now, Jax is not a character that you can blind pick every single match, and because of this, I also have chosen another um, split pusher, but as an AP split pusher. Um, and this one is very interesting because I never thought that she would be this strong, considering that all of the other threats that are around, but turns out that she does well into all of them. And this may come as a surprise, but Gwen can counter a lot of these characters really, really well. And because the meta is really all about skirmishers, she does really well on that and in split pushing at the same time. And this covers, for the need of having an AP character sometimes, because since people like to go Yasuo, Yone, or Zed here and there in the mid lane, you can go with a Gwen, or simply when you just don't have a spot for Jax, I think Gwen does really well. Um, in fact, I had a match earlier against Tryndamere. Tryndamere, man, he couldn't do absolutely anything against me up until he was already level 18. So he was 17 levels getting fucked by me as Gwen because I was so much powerful than him. And this is a character that really shines in the skirmishers and split pushing meta. She kills turrets so fast. She can one shot any of the threats that the enemy may have. She might struggle against hardcore tanks though, which is interesting because she does a lot of percentage damage. Um, and even some true damage as well with the items and everything. But she might struggle with a lot of the hardcore tanks, at least that's what I have found. But against bruisers, she is insane. Um, and really, Gwen is gonna be my pick for that reason. She does well into almost all of the scenarios that I would pick Jax, but since she is AP, she can bring more value in scenarios that Jax cannot. So this is a good balance. However, this will leave me with a problem, and that is that these two characters cannot be blind pick. These characters are best when they are in a counter matchup. And I feel like for this reason, I must go for Cassante. Because Cassante, it's still Cassante, man. I played against him as Jax earlier, and I was stomping in lane in the first 2 levels, and as soon as he got 3 levels, he killed me. Like literally, he leveled up, and boom, and I died. Literally, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" Because I couldn't understand what the fuck just happened. So much damage for no reason, so in a very short amount of time. And I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" It is like facing a Talon, man. And the worst part is that he scales really well in the late game with tank items. So it's like, bro, what the fuck? Um, because of this, I feel like Cassante is a must-have at the moment as a blind pick character because he just does not lose anything. And the fun part is that because he got nerfed, people think that he is out of the meta, but that is not true. It's just that now this power is much more approachable, but by other characters. It's not like he will just insta win a game by himself like before. No, this time you actually have to try a bit, but by trying, then it becomes a free win because this character is very powerful. But since no one is prioritizing him, I think I can make use of his power to climb in the ranked ladder. And so this is gonna be my champion pool for this patch, and probably for the rest of the season as well, unless they do some big changes again. So Jax, Gwen, and Cassante, I think they work perfectly. And I think I don't have Cassante on my top lane account. Funny enough, I will have to farm a few coins to buy it, um, or a few essence. I mean to buy it. But yeah, then if you guys want my recommendations for the champion pool in the top lane, um, I will go for, if you can secure. Let's say that Yone is always a must-have. But let's say that you cannot really pick him up because he is permaban, right? Aside from Yone, if you want my recommendations, considering what is pick at the moment, you can go for Illaoi, because Illaoi stomps everything in lane, with the exception probably of Kennen and Jace. And I say probably because I'm not fully sure. If you land one E, you can probably push them out of lane. Um, with the new items and the changes, if you get one turret, she will just snowball out of control. So, and why do I not play Illaoi? Um, that's a good question, actually. Now that you think, now that you say it, I have not thought about it before. To be fair, I do know why. It's because I have a very hard time understanding how to snowball with her. So it will take me quite a lot of time to understand how she works. So I would rather leave Illaoi for when I get better in general as a top laner. Um, Rather than just picking her at the moment. Uh, but if you feel confident, I think Illaoi is just very powerful. So definitely Illaoi. Aside from these Jax, everyone must play Jax at the moment, and I would recommend so Illaoi, Jax. What else? And I think that's about it. If you want an AP character, um, Gwen could be good, or Rumble. But overall, just these two characters will really make the most difference in my eyes. Jax and Illaoi, and Yone, of course. But aside from this, there's not much else to do, or like to pick. But yeah, in my case, I'm gonna go for Gwen and Jax, and Cassante um, as my picks. Now, why do I not recommend Cassante if he is so strong? The main reason is because he will struggle in some in like in the early levels is quite weird, and I have, now that I have played quite a lot in the lower levels, um, I feel like people do not know how to lane well enough to take advantage of Cassante, because Cassante you need to hold even in lane at the very least until you have your power spikes. So, and if you don't manage to hold enough for that, you're gonna struggle quite hard. That's why I would not recommend Cassante. While Jax is much more like he can forgive mistakes, but Cassante won't. So that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Um, this wraps up all of my champion pool, I think, for the new patch. So tomorrow I'm gonna be doing a recap of all of these characters that I have picked for my road to diamond, and I'm gonna be um um I'm gonna be playing on the next week. So next week the gameplay is gonna start. This week it was all about trying out characters, and that's why I haven't really been wanting to show them to show the matches, because I have just been testing. It has not been me actually trying to win. It was just me trying to understand the characters and what they did in game. But that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And tomorrow I'm gonna do a recap of all of the champions that I have chosen for my road to diamond. And on, wait, what day is today? I'm a bit confused at the moment. So today is Saturday. Yeah, today is Saturday. On Sunday, so tomorrow, you are gonna have the recap of my champion pool, and on the next week, you are gonna have gameplay. Finally, I'm gonna be bringing one match of League of Legends every single day, and then I'm gonna do a recap of the first week. Um, Now the recap is gonna be about um, not only what I show on camera, but also what I do on stream. Sorry, off camera, because I do play quite a lot per day. I'm playing at the moment 10 matches per day, more or less. Um, so I think it's gonna be a good rhythm. I think 10 matches per day is really good because it really is not that much time. In the past, 10 matches used to be. I remember, in fact, I remember back in the day, I used to play 15 matches per day, and that was easily about 13 hours. 13 hours, or even 14 hours, because the matches were that long, and then you have to wait for queue times, for champ select, etc. It was something like this. But right now, 10 matches is like 5 hours. The games do not last that long, and that's awesome. The queue is much better, the champ select is much faster, and overall there's a lot less time. So in just 5 hours, in 5 hours. I would let's say, yeah, I would say 5 hours is around 10 matches. Um, and that's really good, I feel, because matches are fast, they are fun, and you can get a lot done. I will even say 6, 7 hours to be more precise. I would say 7 hours. 7 hours is 10 matches to be more precise. But between 5 and 7 hours, you can definitely get things done. It's just that sometimes people do not want to surrender on clear losses. For example, when you are 4 versus 5 because one is AFK and you are 10,000 gold behind. Like, how can you not surrender this? You already are losing everything. I don't know. But when people do surrender, it's 5 hours. Otherwise, it's 7 hours, I would say. But even then, that's much better because it's almost it is about half the time than before. So yeah, thank you so much for watching though. My name is Comet, and I am signing out. Peace.